What's up, this is Prinston, and welcome to the Massive Action Movement. Now I'm so proud to be here. This is my first episode. I've been working on this a long time. A lot of times in life, you're told that you have to follow traditional rules in order to get to where you want to be or be successful. And what you find out is that you're playing the game by rules that you simply can't win. Now, what I'm going to talk about in this show is stuff that I learned from over 8 years of entrepreneurship, from coming from sleeping on the floor all the way to building my own business up, building my friends' businesses up, and really creating stuff that's going to make you successful. Look, I'm not going to bullshit you on this show. I'm going to talk about the practical things I'm learning. I'm not just going to talk about the 5 tips and strategies, 6 ways, funky tips to get your business to the next level. I'm going to talk about the stuff that I've learned, my friends have learned, that we've practically experimented with, that are going to get you to the next level. Why you always see, the problem is you don't want to take action, Will. That's the problem. And what better way to start than talk about the one thing that's really holding you back in entrepreneurship, and that's challenging the identity that you've been fed by society. I'm going to talk about how you can challenge your identity and start building up a better set of beliefs that are going to get you to where you want to be. So let's go take action. So your identity, why do you have to challenge it? And why is this really necessary? Well, I'm going to put it to you like this. Everybody has a set of beliefs, an identity, if you will, that have gotten them to the point in their life right now. So your identity is not necessarily bad. However, in order to get to a different level, you're going to have to change those thoughts and beliefs in order to get to a level of success that you really want. Why does this happen? This happens through a process called socialization, where as you grow up, and you go up around your friends and your family, you begin to adopt the ideologies, the beliefs, and the culture that's around you, and it begins to shape what you believe you can and can't do. I remember being very young, and I used to be into things that in my community they really didn't admire that much. So I remember walking up to my cousin and be like, hey, look, I'm about to read this Harry Potter book, and I'm going to try to say it exactly how they told it to me. Maybe you'll get your bitch ass on with this shit. And I would look to myself and I would say, wow. You know, I would scamper back and be like, huh, crazy. I'd come up with something else. I'd be like, oh man, you know what I really like? I like stars and astronomy. And they'd be like, man, what is this white folk shit you talking about? And that started to shape my identity. Because what did this start making me believe? It started making me believe that the identity that I had wasn't acceptable. So I started hiding that side of my personality. Even further than that, I remember coming home and my family unconsciously reinforced that. Me and my brother, we used to both get report cards. We walk in, we give our report cards to our grandmother, and she would look over my report card. I'd have all A's, but I'd have 1 B in history. 1 B. And she would look at it and say, what the hell is going on? Why do you have a B in history? You know, I didn't think much of it. But what happened next is what really surprised me. She would look at my brother's report card, look it over, B's, C's. She'd look at him and send him on his way, not saying anything about it. And I'd ask her, you know, me being curious, I'd say, why? Why did you not say anything to him about having B's and C's? And she'd say, oh, well, that's the best he could do. He's more the social one. You're more of the intelligent one. You're the smart one. Now, I know this wasn't done maliciously and unconsciously. However, this still shaped my personality. Now, you might be saying at this point, well, that's harmless, right? That's pretty harmless. But what happens when you get older? And I could have went out for social clubs. I could have went out for groups, leadership positions. And people said, man, you should go out for this. You should be a part of this. And I said to myself, oh, you know what? I'm not the social one. I'm not the one who puts myself out there. I'm not the one who does things like that. You see, the vehicle beliefs that I adopted wasn't getting me to where I wanted. And through socialization, I began to limit myself. You're basically putting on an act. You're on a stage, and you've used an identity that's got you to where you need to be. However, you're gonna have to change that identity, change those beliefs around to something that's a better vehicle to reach the success that you really want. And funny enough, this bled into every part of my life. I remember when I first started doing YouTube videos, I was scared to even say certain things on camera because I believed that my family might see it and be like, what would they say about me? What would my mom think about this? What would my friend think about this? And I was walking around with the ghost of people that really didn't care. But the funny thing is, this changed when I made a video I released not too long ago about my story. And I remember I cursed on there, and I showed it to my mother, and she didn't react at all. And what I realized was that what I thought the perception was, or what I thought people might think about me, really is the most time different than what you think yourself. This concept is called the looking glass self, where we start to form our identity and our beliefs about ourselves based on what we think other people think about us. Not what people actually think about us, but what we think other people think about us. And the crazy thing, in order to get out of this, you have to challenge your identity. You have to challenge who you believe you are in order to get to that next level. You have to do things and go under a state of massive action in order to get to the level that you really want to get to. So what can we do about this to challenge traditional thinking? Well, I remember what I did to challenge my identity. It was a crude way to do it, but it was very effective. I remember I wanted to go out one night and I wanted to challenge the idea, was I social? And I called up all my friends. Of course, I had been social before, but I'd never done it in the context where I was by myself. So I called up a couple friends trying to go out. And it almost worked out the right way because nobody wanted to go out or nobody could go out. So what happened? I ended up having to go out by myself. So I remember driving to the venue. I was completely fresh. I said, no, not tonight. I'm about to go out here. I'm about to challenge these beliefs and see if I'm really not the social one. So I jumped in the car. I drive to Midtown. I get out the car. I couldn't park by the club because I didn't have money for valet, and parking is terrible. I get out, I hear the dead silence as I get out the car. I begin walking up and slowly I hear the laughing, I hear the giggling, I hear the screech of cars, and then I walk up to the venue. I went to the venue, the only venue that was free because I didn't have enough money to pay to get in, and I walk up. When I get upstairs, I just get bumped around. Getting bumped around by people is crazy. It's overstimulating, and I was like thinking to myself, maybe I'm not the social one. But I said, you know what? Fuck that. I'm really gonna test this. So I look to the right and I see two girls sitting there, and I walk up and I go over and talk to them. And of course, they completely reject me. No, I'm bullshitting. They start talking to me, and then what I start realizing was that, you know, I'm socializing, and then I start socializing with more people. All of a sudden, another person comes over. They start talking. Then it's pretty soon, it's like 15 people in the club. We're all talking, we're laughing, we're having fun. And then as I sat there, I was thinking, those ideas and that identity that I believe was me, maybe that wasn't true. And when I was walking home and I hear all the noise fading into the background, I said, you know, I challenged that limiting belief, and I had the most fun I'd ever had going out in my life to that point. So I thought to myself, what other limiting beliefs could I challenge? I started doing crazy stuff like cold calling people. I started running up on famous entrepreneurs or people who I wanted to work with, start talking to them, really start getting outside my comfort zone. And what I found was what I believed was my identity was not actually my identity, but it was just a set of beliefs that had been put upon me when I was younger. And when I challenged those beliefs, I used a belief system that was more able to get me to where I want to be. It's about to rain, but I'm going to get this last point out. Now, basically, the vehicle of beliefs that you have right now, they've gotten you to the point you are in your life. But in order to get to another point, to get to a different point, so if you want to be an entrepreneur, you're going to have to change the vehicle of belief. This doesn't change the core of who you are, but it does give you the beliefs that are going to allow you to get to the point you want. So I want you to leave you with that. Remember, challenge those limiting beliefs. Look at all the limiting beliefs that you're saying that you're not this person, and look at how you can challenge them. And also, think about how the people around you have shaped your identity, and is that truly your identity? And the last thing I want to leave you with is your massive action challenge for the week. I want you to take 3 to 5 limiting beliefs, things that you believe are you, things that you believe that you can't do. I want you to write them down, and then I want you to challenge them. So let's say you say, man, I can't public speak. I've never been a public speaker. Or, oh, I'm scared to put a video out. I want you to do it. I want you to challenge it. So if you can't public speak, go get your friends, get your family together and say, I'm going to deliver a speech to you. Challenge that traditional thinking. If you never put out a video, put something up. Just talking about a concept, something you're passionate about, and let your friends see it. Send it to everybody and start getting outside your comfort zone. This is the only way. It's all about action. All the talking, you can watch this video and say, oh, that was a good point. That was something cool that you said. But until you actually take action, take massive amounts of action, it's not going to do anything for you. This show is not about talking. This is about you actually getting to the level you want to be. And it starts by getting out your comfort zone and actually taking action. So remember that. I'm about to get out of here before it starts raining. Me and Will almost getting rained on right now. But remember that, take massive action, join the massive action movement, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button if you want more, leave a comment below, I'll read all the comments, and let's get this massive action movement started. Let's go, Will.